Welcome to another episode of Roll Up a Poet. So get your blunts rolled and your drink poured. Alright, so for this one, I'm gonna tell y'all about the time I was smashing my next door neighbor. Yeah, you might think this shit is a fucking game, but it ain't when it really is. Alright, so here it go. Now, this was a couple of years ago. This was 2020. I had this house in Detroit because I told you I've been moved out of Detroit. But this was a few years ago. I had a house in Detroit, right? So I'm living in this house. Everything was cool, no problems, no nothing. My next door neighbor to the left of me. Now, they was some older people that lived there at that house. And I guess they got tired of living there. They wanted something new. So they had moved out, right? So they move out, and I get a new neighbor. Now, my neighbor on the right side of me just so happened to be my homeboy. You know what I'm saying? He knew me from the hood, and he knew all my people and everything. So me and him chopped it up a few times. He was 100. He really was, a guy that was, a part of some shit. So me and him, we got cool. So when the neighbor to the left of me moved out, I'm telling my neighbor on the right, I'm like, hey, my neighbor moved out, about to get a new neighbor, let's see what happened. So he like, yeah, man. He like, look, don't fuck nobody up, woo woo. I'm like, man, I ain't bringing no drama to my house, so it ain't even gonna be none of that. So, all right, I get a new neighbor, right? This was probably like a month after the old people moved out. I get my new neighbor. Now, my new neighbor was an older lady. She was like late 40s, maybe 47, 48, somewhere around there. And it was just her. She had kids, but her kids didn't live there. It was just her. She had a black pit bull. It was a female pit bull, right? Okay. Now, I only seen this pit bull a couple of times because, she brought the baby, I'm about to say baby. She brought the dog outside a couple of times, but she always had the dog on a leash. And she'd bring the dog out, to piss and shit like that. Then she'd take the dog right back in the house. So, all right. Now, I don't know if y'all watch my shorts, but this is an old short, from a while ago. I had a brown pit bull, and I did a couple of shorts with that pit bull. But when I had that pit bull, I used to walk him every single day. Sometimes I walk him 2, 3 times a day, because I'm independent. So I was at home most of the time. So I always was taking him out, walking him. I'm a dog trainer. So I do things like that. Well, anyway, when I walk him down the street all the way to the far end of the corner, hit the next block, come back around. I let him get a nice walk in. By the time we circle back around the block, I got to pass the neighbor house, which is the older lady that just moved in. Me and the dog got to pass her house to get to my house. So she was seeing me walk this dog every day, a couple of times a day. She would never speak or none of that, but she seen me walking the dog. So anyway, one day I had let the dog out. Now, after I trained dogs to a certain extent, I started letting them go out on their own, where I'm not sitting on the porch watching them and all of that shit. I just let the dogs outside, and they know their territory, they know their boundaries. That's how I train them, so they know not to leave the house, things like that. So it was one of them days I let the dog out, right? So he out there in the front yard running around doing his thing, right? I'm sitting there in the living room watching TV. So while I'm watching TV, next thing I know, I hear my dog barking. But he wasn't like no aggressive bark. He was just like, doing his little barking. So I hop up, I go to the door, and he playing with the lady next door dog, my new neighbor. He playing with her dog, the black pit bull that she had. She had a female pit bull, and I had a male pit bull. So they out there, playing with each other, shit like that. I'm like, ain't this some shit? By this time, she might have been living there probably like 2, 3 months, And like I said, she ain't never let the dog outside by herself or none of that. So I guess she's starting to get comfortable, and she see me let my dog out, you know. So she let her dog out. She did this shit on purpose. You know what I'm saying? So they out there playing this shit. I ain't no problem with it. I let them play, you know, cause he need to interact with a female dog of his own league anyway, you know. So I ain't no problem with it. I let them play. Nah, this went on for like a week straight. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing every day. I let him outside. Next thing you know, her dog outside, and they run around playing. They'll bounce from my house to the next door house, and they'll just be playing with each other. They won't even be thinking about people walking up the street, nothing. My dog and her dog was in love. Literally, they was in love. So they was playing with each other for the longest. I let them play for like a good hour, you know, before I come and get him and bring him in, cause he tired as hell, you know, after all of that, you know. He fucking laid out, fatigued, dehydrated, all type of shit. You know what I'm saying? It been a couple of times I had to drag his ass in the house. You know what I'm saying? Cause he played with the damn female dog so long, he just burnt himself out. You know what I'm saying? I had to drag his ass in the house about 3 good times. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, like I said, this went on for like a week straight. Now, the last day of this happening, I mean, it happened more. I'm just making a point. The last day of this happening, in that first week of them playing with each other, I came and grabbed him, right? I had to drag his ass to the house because I said he was fucked up. You know what I'm saying? So I'm dragging him to the house, which means I had to pass her house. So she come outside and she like, oh, I noticed that, you know, my dog and your dog get along. They play a lot and everything. And, you know, I just wanted to say I appreciate you letting them play because my dog don't got nobody to play with, and, you know, ran down all that whole goddamn story, you know. So I'm like, yeah, I don't got no problem with it, you know. She was my type, you know, definitely. She was. She was just a little older, like I said, but I don't got no problem with older women or nothing, you know. I like real women, you know. So the age thing really didn't bother me. She was just a little older than me. So anyway, she like, yeah, you know, they could play anytime. If you ever want to bring your dog over, you know, just come knock on the door. I had no problem with it. I'm like, all right, cool. So by this time, I'm still trying to drag the damn dog in the house. She like, look, I'm gonna just give you my phone number, you know, and you could just let me know whatever time you gonna bring him out, and I just, you know to let my dog out, even though she already did anyway. But this is how she was calling herself getting in with a nigga, you know. So all right, cool. She give me the number. I text her my number. I'm like, this is my number, you know. All right, cool. Went in the house, went on about our business. So she didn't text me a couple of times, you know, asked me, do I smoke and shit like that. Now, everybody know I fucking smoke. You know what I'm saying? So she didn't see me outside smoking or probably smelled the weed or whatever. Who knows, you know? So she asked me, do I smoke? I'm like, yeah, I smoke, you know? I'm like, what's up? You smoke? You trying to get something? She like, yeah, you know, I wanted to buy a little something, just a little something to smoke. I'm like, don't even trip. I got you, you know? So she like, all right. She like, you know, can you roll it for me because I don't know how to roll? Cool. I rolled her 2 blunts. Took him over there to her, you know. I'm like, you know, this on the house. I ain't tripping. We cool. She smoked the shit. She got to text me like, oh my God, I'm so high. I never had no good weed like this. And, you know, just making conversation type shit, you know. So it went from that to her basically inviting herself over. She like, I want to smoke with you. Can I come over and come smoke with you? You know, I'm like, yeah, that's cool. So she came over. We smoked, we talking. By this time, I'm feeling it. I'm like, shit, she want to fuck. You know what I'm saying? She in my house now. She be letting her dog play with my dog all day. Like, she didn't got real comfortable. You know what I'm saying? So, all right, we smoking, we talking. I'm making my move. Like, you know, all right, it's time to fuck. You know what I'm saying? She instantly cut into me like, oh, no, I don't get down like that and blah, 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 all this shit. I'm like, all right, get the fuck out of my house. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you ain't on shit, get the fuck up out of here. Like, I don't need you in my house. Like, you invited yourself over here. We didn't smoke, and you ain't talking about shit. So it's either time to fuck or go. You know what I'm saying? So I cut into her. That shit ended up turning her on. I thought she was gonna get up and leave the way how I cut into her. But that shit turned her on. You know what I'm saying? So she started getting naked. We fucked. I told her ass off. You know what I'm saying? Just for playing with me like that. Like, you knew you came over here to fuck. You know what I'm saying? Why you trying to play these games? You know what I'm saying? So after that, we fucked maybe 3, 4 more times. You know what I'm saying? And after that, she started getting in her feelings. So she like, I'm gonna have to have you all to myself. I don't want you talking to no other women. And you know what I'm saying? She started getting on that type of shit, right? I'm like, all right, since you want to try and, handcuff me and shit, I'm about to go ahead and hit you with the one. So I hit her with the one. I didn't need it, but I tested her. Now, fellas, test these women. Test them. Don't let them talk you out your game, telling you, oh, don't be testing me and all that. When they say that, cut their ass off. You supposed to test them. You supposed to see where they head at, especially when they want to come at you about a relationship and shit like that. So you got to test them. So I test her. I sent her a text. I was like, hey, baby, I need you. She was like, what's up? What you need? I'm like, shit, I need $1,000. You know what I'm saying? She takes me back talking about some, oh, nah, I'm not giving you that. Cool. This is my escape plan. Leave me alone. Because if you can't help me out or nothing, I'm not about to keep smoking my weed with you and all this fuck shit and then you getting in your feelings. Like, where the fuck is we supposed to be going? You know what I'm saying? So if I can't ask you for nothing, then I don't need to be fucking with you. Even if you didn't have $1,000, you could have just said, hey, I don't got it, But she flat out told me she not giving it to me. You know what I'm saying? Or she could have came at me with a lower offer. Like, hey, I could give you 100, or something like that. Either way it went, I still would have hit her back with the text. Like, hey, baby, I don't need it. I was just seeing where you was at with it. But she clapped the shit out of me instantly. Was like, I ain't giving it to you. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn, okay, cool. So I'm like, babe, stop fucking with her, So I ain't hear nothing from her for like 2 days. You know what I'm saying? Then she texts me. She like, oh, ever since you asked for that money and I ain't give it to you, you don't fuck with me no more and blah, blah, blah. I left her ass on red. So she sent me another message. Like, I just didn't think it was feasible of me, giving you $1,000. Feasible? Motherfucker, do you even know what feasible means? You know what I'm saying? And then why you keep hitting me with these text messages? It's like, it's over. You know what I'm saying? But she kept hitting me with messages, trying to get me to calm down or whatever and be cool and, dust it under the rug or some shit. Nah, wrong nigga, baby. So I cut her off. I'm like, we good, If you can't look out for me when I need you, then I ain't doing for you. Oh, yeah, also, I forgot to throw this in there. I was cutting her grass and everything for her, you know what I'm saying? So I'm cutting her grass. I got her car fixed for her, because she had some shit going on with her rim, So she had gave me the keys to her car to go get her car fixed. I went and got her rim fixed. I paid for the shit, all of that. You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't no nigga just smoking fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, I was doing for her, And this is why she was getting in her feelings. So I'm like, all right, you want to get in your feelings, then I need something. You know what I'm saying? By this time, I didn't well over invested $1,000 in her, So why you can't kick back? You know what I'm saying? She wasn't with it and tried to hit me with this feasible word. You feel me? Like, come on, man, you got the wrong one. You know what I'm saying? So I cut her off. Never talked to her again, She kept on trying to reach out to me a couple of times, but I wasn't responding. Mind you, she my next door neighbor. You know what I'm saying? And I'm acting like she halfway across the world or something, man. Cutoff game way too motherfucking strong. That's just how I be coming. I don't give a fuck, So I let her ass go. Peace out. This ain't the one. But the whole point of this was I was smashing my next door neighbor. You know what I'm saying? She the one that came on to me. So while she tried to play her role, I played mine. And she didn't like it. So I chopped her head off. It's been another episode of Roll Up a Pour Up. So get your blunts rolled and your drink poured.